to make some book recommendations. Depending on where you are in life will dictate when and if you should read these books. But The Miracle Morning was one that really helped me. That book kind of gives a framework of how to create a routine that works for you. And for me, that means I start my day with meditation, with affirmations. I do prayer, I do reading, and that also goes into, as you might see around my office, I have dream boards, I have goals, I have plans, because it's very important to me, very similar to the point of doing affirmations, that my big picture goals are in mind and that I have roadmaps and ideas to keep you going. Because guys, motivation is not something that's going to be there every day. But when you start your day with a routine or the right things, it's very motivating. Reading is very important to me as well, because not only am I gaining skills and knowledge through the books I'm reading, it also really starts your day in a way where not only is there optimism, but seeing the positive growth and having a really good mindset, especially if you're a business owner and you're otherwise stressed and that kind of a thing. So that's a big, big part of it. Miracle Morning is a great book. Actually, I have a stack here that, again, if you have specific questions, definitely throw them in the comments. And by the way, if what I'm saying sounds like I would be interested in hearing more from this guy, learning from this guy, whether it's the business of living off the land or you just like my off-roading videos and me going up to the mountains and me chopping wood and all that kind of stuff, this would be a great time to subscribe. If you're not familiar, you can choose to get notifications. If you want to be sure to see the videos as they come out, go in and click that bell, select all, and I'm trying to post at least 2 videos a week and maybe even more moving forward. Now, I'll probably end up coming out with a follow-up video to get more detail on books and everything, but for right now, a few really good ones. John C. Maxwell, he in general is a really great author, and for leadership and business leadership is someone I recommend reading. How Successful People Think was a book that helped me kind of get a mindset and a frame for that. Leadership Promises for Your Week is another book by John C. Maxwell. If you do own a business and have employees, or that's something you aspire to, The 1 Minute Manager is a really good book on efficient and good business management and leadership. More in terms of inspiration and other things is The Magic of Thinking Big, which is another great book that I recommend. And another one that I found a while back is Fierce Conversations. I might come off aggressive and confident and all that, and I am those things, but also confrontation is not something I love. I think that's probably true for most people. This book is really great with having conversations that need to be had in a framework. It's been a while since I read it. Maybe I'll reread it sooner or later, so the details escape me a bit, but that's definitely one I recommend. And also, I don't know if you can see the books over here. Another book I strongly recommend, and I read this in college, and it's a big reason I got into real estate, and I'm very, very grateful I read it when I did and just took massive action outside of college, is The Unfair Advantage by Robert Kiyosaki. So there's a lot of different trains of thought on assets and money and that kind of thing. I personally like Robert Kiyosaki. I like the way that he frames assets and looks at debt and cash flow. You know, if you're a Dave Ramsey guy, no problem with that. I personally think Dave Ramsey is great for people who aren't that good with money, because he's all about having no debt and eliminating debt and living free. And for some of you, that might be the right path. You know, maybe you want to buy land, build a cabin, eliminate debt, and live the rest of your life worry-free. That's not a bad way to go for some people. I personally understand that if I own an asset that appreciates and has cash flow, putting debt on that is powerful, and that's one of the ways I was able to get my net worth to rise as fast as I was. It's not for everyone. It carries a bit of risk, but if you know what you're doing, if you read up on it, if you put your 10,000 hours into it of becoming a master at it, it's extremely powerful. Another good book, especially if you're a business owner or want to be one or want to be more efficient, is The 4-Hour Workweek. This really just helped me realize that we waste a ton of time. I mean, I have employees that have to talk face-to-face for half an hour, and frankly, it could have been a 3-sentence email. I don't want to cut out relationships. Details important, conversations are important, but this really helps frame a way where you can get a lot done in less time, and it helped me become a person who can maximize my time and do more with the same amount of hours in the day that everyone else has. Another very good and important book, especially for anyone who's self-employed or an entrepreneur, is The E-Myth. I think it's by Michael Gerber, if I'm not mistaken. This is a great book that everyone should read. There's like 5 versions at this point, I think. He might have volumes that stack on top of each other, but just get started with this one. Another book that I picked up a while back, this is not really in the same vein as the rest, but it's called Abundance by Peter Dimandus. The point of this book is the world is a lot better and in better shape than we think. I know that sometimes it looks like things are falling apart and doom and gloom, and if you pay attention to mainstream media, you might think the world's going to end tomorrow. But this really points out with facts and data that things are pretty good. There's a lot of abundance, and it goes in hand with understanding there's a ton of opportunity and things that we can take advantage of, and just there's so many opportunities in this world. So that would be the quick introduction to some books I recommend. I definitely recommend, if you can, maybe it's half an hour every day, maybe it's half an hour every other day, maybe it's an hour once a week. But reading, especially if you can start your day with it, can help you build and learn skills, but start your mind in a great place. If you start, I'm not gonna lie, during COVID, times were not so good. I live in Washington State. My 2 businesses at the time were shut down for a month by the governor, and that sucks for a lot of reasons, and you have no power over that. And I definitely had months where I was in depression and spent a lot of time in the bed and spent all this time on my phone. If you start your day on your phone, on social media, definitely make sure it's on YouTube on Living Off the Land. But no, I'm just kidding. Take that time and put it into reading, even if it's only 20 or 30 minutes a day. I think it's very, very important.
My mission is self-reliance through sustainable living, and we're here to build a community. Click here to subscribe to be sure to get more awesome content for Living Off the Land. And be sure to go in to enter for notifications. Click that bell, get notifications, and stay in tune. Subscribe, watch, and comment. Let's build a community. See you soon.